And yeah, looks like I hear the countdowns, I hear the silence of the battlefield. We're going to mid, baby. We're going to our first map of our Quizcast production, ETF2L Season 35, Week 5, powered by Copenhagen Games. It's Reckoner, baby. It's Virtus.Bro versus Boomers. What's happening on mid, Agro?
I'm glad you mentioned it, Brego. I think was possibly the first to get all the way to mid, laid down a few of the old sticky boomers, but no kills as of yet. Seeing DMZ doing a sneaky gets in against the power of Virtus, and they knocked him down and stole him out. No med kill for that dear player. Mist is doing a bit of chasing, getting in tight. A couple of scouts going in hard and fast against this medic, pushing him all the way back to his own spawn. Will he be able to survive this onslaught? Buttnose finally going down. What an amazing retreat, but actually not a perfect retreat by any stretch at all.
Wow, that is the definition of a team that wants to win the war, but not so much the battle. They even didn't want to go all the way to mid or leave a player on mid to cap it off. They opted to throw every single person at the kitchen sink at poor Buttnose to make sure he went down and they had that medic uber advantage. It's a very nice aggression to come out to see from this Virtus.Bro team.
Yeah, they are pushing really hard into this. So now they've managed to get that advantage. 80% advantage is massive at this stage. They've got all 4 points leading up to last. I don't think anything's going to stop them going in. They're a little bit tentative, but no, here it goes. Uber is being pushed in now. Sentry gun going down almost immediately. Kunai is being hectic and heavy with his stickies, but I don't think they've managed to get it. I don't think this is going to be the one. Seeing a lot of losses go down on this Virtuous side, and they've had to retreat. They've had to pull back as the points are, or the gods are not on their side right now.
Yeah, the engineer did his job there. He kind of tanked the Uber, and once that Uber was put out, they had to deal with the heavy weapons guy, and it was too much resources to kind of pull in. Half of the team decided to stay in, half of them decided to back out, and we've actually got a popple here on second now as they're making this chase onto the combo.
Yeah, I don't think Poison was ready for that Uber at all. I don't think he was even had his barrel loaded. Buttnose being left on his own and he's taken abuse. Mr. gets the Buttnose kill. He's saying before we went live, Buttnose has been everywhere and done everything. Do you think that Buttnose has picked the right team to be with for this season?
I mean, it's not so much for a season. He's just kind of mercenarying in. He's just kind of murking for this crowd. He's going to be gone just as quickly as he arrives, as I'm sure Onkai will be back for future games. But Buttnose, he's done this so much now, for so long, he's going to fit in any squad at any point, at any class.
He can do it. If anyone can do it, Buttnose can do it. This is one of his theme tunes. Pop going out again. I think I'm not sure there was an exchange, but Buttnose is down. There's in fact the entirety of the blue team is down. That's Boomer's gone and buried, and the final point is going to be capped quite beautifully by people hanging around on points, making sandwiches, and just having a jolly old time.
Yeah, well done from Virtus.Bro there to get the sort of counter initiation out onto that second point, caught them in that no man's land, in that tiny doorway where nobody can really weasel their way out of, and from there snowballed the kills. The only play that we could call out there was maybe Dameezy trying to stop it from the second point. That's the only play he could have done, but it didn't work out. Hey ho.
Yeah, again.
Yes, it is a middle that makes me quite a sight to behold. Make me speechless as well, Agro, as it just seems that they've just taken the easiest mid of their lives here. Poor little Virtus.Bro, as they're just crawling all over Boomers. Boomers really struggling to kind of figure out what they're doing with these mids so far.
Yeah, it's not been particularly impressive. It does seem to be that they're kind of opening the floor, maybe going in one at a time, as opposed to the clumping that we've seen from Virtus. Virtus do seem to know what they're doing and taking advantage of these poor old players.
Yeah, Poison will get a nice pick onto these scouts that will come just weaseling their way in straight up out of the gates. They're maybe not even showing them respect at this point now, going way too far ahead, but they will recap that second point, start making the push out, and it's even Ubers, and they've got the man advantage, so they're pushing in now.
Yep. there's it's a real strong sense of pushness going on. Pushness, that's a new phrase for me. I'm going to make it into a word, whether I try trying. Butno's left out on his own, and he has been spotted. He's been forced backwards a little bit. Now there is a bit of an exchange. DQZ has he popped? Is he alive?
Yeah, he popped his Uber, yeah. But Butno's managed to hold on to his Uber. He's actually popped it off now, and they're trying to chase up kills, and Bevan is wincing his way forward, seeing if he can find any more stray kills. He's found the sightline of the medic. He will pick up his health back, and he's doing a quick dance of his people, but it allows Brago to come
That is insane!
He cleans up with a nut pipe as well. He will go down. Poison. He's spent too much time capping. They're leaving Butno's behind, though, during all of this. Poison doesn't know whether to defend his medic or go back and help out his demo man, and because of that indecision, they will both go down.
Yeah, that was looking to be a really, really beautiful move there. I was so certain when DQZ was going to be in a bad place, leaving his team, but it seems like the exchange happened in terms of lives. And both medics eventually going down. Butno's now back on the scene. He's got Poison with him. He's got Brego with him. And Deco too. Are they going to be moving in for the kill? Are they going to be trying to take this all the way to the final point and try and level the scores out as well? Looks like there's going to be a bit of a dry push. No, they're holding off. Neither team anywhere near an Uber. It's the thing that always happens on this map. A bit of a stalemate onto last, but it's a very open map. There's plenty of opportunities to both push in and sneak out. So I think we're going to see a few bits of stancing going on here, hoping to try and find an opening, maybe try and find something out onto those medics. Maybe in an outsider, another kill. I don't see a sentry gun laid up yet. In fact, there we go. There's an exchange of Ubers as they try to push in, and I don't think anything has been made of it. I think they might be pulling back a little bit, all the way back to try and maintain some sense of semblance. Slash takes Dems down, and yep, that's a fairly unsuccessful push right there.
Yeah, for all you kids at home, that's damn easy. I don't think he likes to make it
easy.
He doesn't like to make it damn easy for us, but hopefully his gameplay makes it look a bit more damn easy. Poison, he's on top of the medic, however, might get the final rocket. It allows Brago to kind of inch his way in, but it will cost him his life. An expensive medic kill that was, as they had to give out not only their soldiers but their demo man as well. Damn easy is going to do a damn easy job of dying, and I swear the puns will stop there. And they're still chasing here. Oh, nice little pipe. Kuna onto Bevan. He will go down, but won't go down without taking Sol with him. And during the dust settling now, Brago is the only one that's kind of in charge and ready on this mid.
I think Slash might even have got himself a nice little air shot, though. I've called air shots before and they weren't, so I'm going to resolve to read comments and find out whether I was right later. Either way, it's a slow and ponderous pledging stroll into fourth or into second that is taking place by Damned Easy, as you so rightly call. I apologise for getting all of the names wrong, and I think I'm going to have to keep apologising as the stream goes along.
That's quite alright, as long as you don't say Lanza's kind of name in the brackets, I think we'll be okay. As they will pop off the Uber here, trying to go for the second point, but there's going to be an Uber coming and waiting from Virtus.Bro. They're looking to go aggressive with it now. They will pop off the red light to go, and they've managed to block the second point as well, so any sort of attempt at a back cap cannot be capitalised right now. Poison instead is going to have to go for a delayed bomb. He's actually going to go back and try and regroup with his team instead. Has anybody else been left behind? I think Dika has in this lower area.
Yeah, Dika's been sneaky. He's been spotted out though. Coolly. Is it Ector? Whatever. Has taken him down. So there's that threat has been ignored or been mitigated.
Oh, Kuna brought down very low. Oh, they will actually get the Bevan kill, who's trying to get the meat grinder against Kuna there. And I think they're going to have to give up midpoint for this. Damn easy, he's trying to go for the back cap, but it's a soldier back cap, and that's only got that ×1, not that lovely ×2 that most teams opt for.
Yeah, it's good when he pulls it off. In fact, speaking of capping as scouts, looks like that's happening on mid right now. Kuna not going to take it, lying down, manages to get a pop off and Ubers are finally exchanged. I'm not entirely certain who has who popped first, but it doesn't matter when Buttnose goes down, and DQZ is still alive. That's all that really counts.
That looks like a huge sort of miscommunication, or at least a just a misread of the video game there, as that you see Boomers popping in so confidently, thinking that they had the advantage there, and then they were a bit shocked when DQZ popped off his own Uber, and it was a big single solid Uber as well against many multiing by Buttnose. He was dead in the water there, and his team looked like they followed suit as well.
Yeah, Lanto trying to make a sneaky attempt to cap Final, not realising the entire team had spawned at the same time. But it's like 40-50% advantage DQC has. I don't think he's got much of a problem. I don't want to call it, I don't want to curse it, but I think he's going to have a nice little time when it comes to pushing into last right now.
Yeah, they should be worried here, Boomers, though. They want to make a push because they did take the enemy demo man out, and they're actually pouring in through the seams now. Bevan is caught behind, but he has to regroup with his team because they're being melted by the rest of Virtus.Bro, and they're going to start pushing in soon. They've got... Oh, wait, no. DQZ? He went down during all of that. I think he did... He must have dropped, surely.
Must have done. I don't think there was a reason for him to not be dead otherwise, and... just realised what I said. Right, fair enough. It wasn't perhaps the push that they were expecting to make. It certainly wasn't the easy push that they had expected to make out of this. There is an opportunity here, I think, to try and push out and try and capture that second point. Poison has noted where the medic is and has got a medic of his own, so I'm thinking maybe they're going to be trying to be a little bit aggressive at this point, maybe inch their way slowly in and see if they can take advantage of this team. Here they go. A bit of a dry push in by Poison, does a bit of an exchange of rockets in mid-air.
Yep, that's the ultimate Poison counter right there. Give him something to air shot, and the man's like, no, Poison, no, go for the medic, and he has to go, no, I must go for the air shots, I must win it, you two. And they will pop off the Uber now, but Buttnose has also popped off his Uber, but he's got less men to pop his Uber physically on, as Buttnose will kind of do a nice surf out, but they end up losing a couple of players kind of can keep the fight going. Dika just manning up there. What a man. He's still fighting for all this. He's brought down so low and doesn't actually get chipped out in the end, and it's a real shame because he kind of brought a lot of space for his team to continue fighting there. Maybe they have to recap this back, but it's going to be so hard. The respawners are coming in for the rest of Virtus, but they will cap it off, but at what cost now? They will try and make a sort of reinitiation here on Virtus.Pro. They still want to keep moving forward. I'm not so sure about the rest of Boomers, however. Some of them want to back out, some of them want to keep fighting, and they just keep tag teaming each other out. It's only 4 players, it seems, on both of these teams at all times, as each team takes turns trading cards here. Damn Easy will rejoin the fight. They've entered the flank back in. There's the fight.
Uber's coming in now. Uber is coming in against Buttnose.
Well.
Buttnose doesn't have it. I don't think he's going to be able to survive this. There's a lot of effort, a lot of attention going on to him right now. Buttnose managed to survive. That's insane. How? And Buttnose now has a massive advantage. 90% on the books there. Can he take advantage of it? There's nobody out there to kill right now. They're all retreated all the way back to mid. Let's see if they are going to be a one-man push with a scout, or if there's going to be another tactic being utilised here. There it is. That's the unfortunate Uber. I don't think there was any real need to utilise it at that point, but now it's blown and it's back down, and advantage slipping the other way right now.
Oh no, this is very desperate coming out from Boomers here, because they all jumped into the fray against a team that has the reinforcements of their forward respawn as well. With Buttnose popping that Uber, all the advantages were lost for Boomers there, and he kind of was forced off there because his team left him when the scout just tried peppering him down. And what are you going to do? Die with the Uber? No, he had to just pop it off.
Pop it, don't drop it, as another popular caster had been known to say back in the day. Speaking of Boomers, Kuna putting a few stickies on the wrong door, which happens, but not to worry, they've got the Uber, they've got enough presence on stage, and they've managed to make this 2-0. Virtus having the game of their life at the moment, really enjoying themselves. Boomer cannot be feeling great right now.
Yeah, it's going to hurt there. 2 mistakes back to back, and all it took was to swing that entire round. Quite a heartbreaker. It was going back and forth between both teams, and it was just a mixture of not sort of prioritising where their players should be looking and how they should be defending Buttnose, or where Buttnose is defending, and then going greedy and still pushing anyway.
Yeah, and seeing whether or not we have exactly the same turnout that we've had the last couple of matches. The Team Buttnose, Team Boomer, doing a better job this time of staying alive. They've been able to focus down actual players now, as opposed to moving as individual DMs. And now it seems like they have the advantage. I think they're actually going to cap.
Yep.
I spoke too soon, maybe. There's a few more people alive, and nobody's actually got some time down on the point right now. DQZ is being chased down, and no, Brego, the last man alive to actually stand a real chance of making an impact. Yep, I spoke way too soon. It looks like this Virtus team is much more together. They've got themselves in a good position, and Py-bun.
Have you ever hit such a nice air shot, Agro, that you've lagged the entire server?
I think that's an accomplishment right there. That's a beautiful moment. Now, I don't know if we're going to see a move straight onto last. DQZ has, and I think we'll be using to ensure that these old dudes, the old boomers, don't have a chance to really get themselves sorted together again at all. The Uber has been blown. There's serious amounts of damage being pushed out on this final point. Is it going to be enough?
Yeah, the really tempting fate here is they've got presence on the point. Dika's doing a wonderful job of actually staying alive and pressuring this and keeping it as long-lasted, but they just didn't seem to have the same sort of coordination fighting off there against compared to Virtus.Bro, who was kind of picking at things one at a time, going a bit more blobbier than the rest of Boomers, and yeah, it just looks a bit discombobulated. Plus, Coling is doing wondrous on these mids.
You've got to explain Blobby for me. Not the character from Noel Edmonds' House Party, but what does Blobby mean in this situation?
When I say blobbing, I mean like, just coming together as like a big ball, like 5-man, 5-manning up, like 6-manning up, coming together as Team Fortress can get, and just like walking in the same areas. So, you're taking the same doorways, you're taking the same fights, you're not really breaking from the pack, you're not jumping away, you're just walking. You're slowly making your advance. You are jumping. You're kind of going together at the same thing. You're focusing the sort of same objective in a way.
I'm thinking of a tray of 6 cookies that have been maybe a little bit too much cookie mixture. Maybe they aren't far enough spaced apart, and as they cook, they seem to merge together as one big blob.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's a big, giant cookie is a lot more intimidating, a lot more difficult to take on than like 6 individual cookies back to back. I can prove this both in actual eating and in metaphoric ways.
I want to see this in real life. I want to see 1 man versus giant cookie versus 6 men versus smaller cookies, or 6 men eating 1 giant cookie. No, actually, I'd take it right back. I don't want to see this at all.
Anyway,
yep.
I'm sure a lot of people like wondering why are we just talking about cookies and not talking about the game. The teams, they executed the wrong files. They were supposed to put in their 5CP config, which is first to 5, or more appropriately like best sort of mercy rule of 5 difference, but they ended up putting in the config for the product map, the King of the Hill, which only goes to 3 points. So whoops. We fixed it now, though. We're going back to it. It's just like a mid-pause. If we close our eyes, we can pretend we're in America.
Yeah, pretend it was first half.
Yeah, so welcome to the second half. Welcome to our continuation of our Reckoner map. It's very American here on this map today, and let's see if the old Boomers can make this comeback, as they are currently 3-0 down. You're going to have to look and pretend the 3 is there, ladies and gentlemen, but I promise you, it is 3-0 down for the Boomers, as Virtus.Pro are walking all over them, but not on this mid. They're actually doing it. They're becoming one giant cookie aggro, and they're taking them one by one.
The cookie metaphor is real, and they are pushing in hard. There is a lot of coagulation going on with this cooking recipe right now, and they have a point. They're a man on point. They're actually going to get there first. their first actual human, real mid win. They've got mid for the first time. This is going to be feeling pretty good for them, and they are going to make absolutely all use of this to try and push deep into the heart and maybe finish it off and get a point on the scoreboard. Get their own little dot on that place.
Agro, I'm telling you, they flicked on the stream during that half and they were like, what are we doing wrong? And then when they heard about cookies, they were like, cookies, of course! And then they start to blow up here. Look, see, they're doing it again. They are kind of sending Dammy a bit forward, and Beaven went first. He's not part of the cookie squad, but the cookie squad gets Ubers, and both teams will Uber off now. It's a nice sort of Uber, but they're not really focusing the sort of same objective as one another. Someone to jump in, someone to back out. The coordination's a little lacking, and the communication must be lacking here on this Boomers squad. They need to turn up those air raids, and they need to really focus on the same sort of objectives here. Are they backing out? Are they staying in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you called it at the point. There was a lot of miscommunication. Miscommunication has been plaguing this team for the last few rounds. So they had an opportunity there to get their names on the scoreboard, and that was not followed through by all team members at the same time. Seeing Beaven is trying to make a good use of his positioning, but I don't think he's going to get away with anything. I think he's just chosen to respawn back at his own main base. So this great position that Butnos are in has been flipped around. Oof, indeed. Poison is taken out of the air, but the Uber has to be utilised in order to make use of that. Neither team really has any extreme advantage, except for the fact that Butnos is completely down at the moment. Maybe they're going to utilise this and just push their way in, dominate the force, and drive their way onto this point. Look, nobody is available to make any serious kind of offensive or defensive positioning. Virtus just going to, Rona, the Demoman, was just going to hang around on midpoint, possibly looking to be a medic cap. That is a very solid win right there. That's 4 for 0. Is that enough, or have we got to wait until we get all the way to 5-0 before it's called?
Yeah, we have to wait for the European Mercy Rule to kind of invoke itself before we call anything. Who knows? The comeback can be possible. It's 8 minutes left on the clock. It is a long time in FPS land, and you can definitely do it. It is possible, but it might only be 5-0 in both of the hearts of this team. But we've got another mid. They've been slowly adjusting themselves here on these mids over on Boomers. Maybe they can turn this around now.
I've seen better comebacks or bigger comebacks in the world of 6v6 Div 1. So nothing is impossible.
That was a nice shot. That was a very nice shot coming out onto that soldier in mid-air. Look, see, they're doing a good job. They're actually navigating around and they're kind of taking this core of 4 players in. Slash is doing a lot of damage there. We'll take a scout down with him, but it seems like the biggest ability that Virtus.Bro have on their side is they're kind of unpredictable. There's times I'm seeing them push or go into these fights and going a bit loosey-goosey with it, and really hard to kind of read, and I'd imagine this is screwing with Boomers so much, who have probably such a solid state of TF2 and how it should be in their mind, that if anything deviates against it, they're probably going to spend a good 10 minutes ranting about it rather than adjusting to it.
I'm terrified to see what comes out when somebody introduces a spy or a sniper. That's just going to blow their tiny little minds. As it stands at the moment, very much part of the traditional meta of 6 is being utilised to the fullest extent right here. Although, having said that, I have spotted a sniper by a Lanza wanting to take down. Maybe he's just going to go back into spawn and change to something classic. Here it is. Here's the Uber being pushed out now. Brogo getting a couple of pills down on the point. Pushing back hard. They've identified which corner is going to be the one that's going to be the most danger, but nothing from that. They have managed finally to get their foot on the scoreboard, their foot in the door of points on the board, and finally we see Boomer with 1 point versus 4. Is this going to be the comeback to break all comebacks?
If it is, hi YouTube, how's it going? It's going to be good, and if it's not, well, but it's kind of a weird push order there. They actually took out the Demoman first and then just never dealt with the sentry gun. Usually it's the other way around, but hey, whatever works.
Exactly, and we're seeing whatever works right now. Slesh pushing in deep and hard, manages to get a couple of kills, but goes down himself. Kuna is still alive, is surviving. And I think that the old boys of Boomers have recognised that they have no chance of realistically making any impact at all. Although DMZ was not going to go down without a fight, but still went down nonetheless.
Man, that was damn hard to watch. Hey-oh, but it was... It was a bit sad because we were just complimenting, well, mostly I was complimenting them on just how much they were grouping up together and taking these fights together on mid, and then that mid they decided to just splinter off and die pretty early during them, and it's a bit saddening to see. Bevan is still caught out in this second point. He really wants to fight, and it looks like Virtus.Bro want to fight as well. They were like, okay, you guys take care of Bevan, we'll take the fight second point, and not only do Boomers lose both of those, they also have Uber advantage to deal with as well, which pops off now.
I know Decker's a bit of a one-man army, and it certainly has proven to be incredibly resilient, but I don't think he alone is going to be enough to stop this team from capturing that final point. There it is. That's the 5v1 or 5 points to 1 point.
No, don't worry, lad. There's still 5 gap difference. This is European rules. This is not American. I know we had the first half. I know it's confusing, Agro. It's very confusing for everybody here, but we're waiting for the gap of 5. I
have an old mind. Forgive me. Apparently, I am Boomer, and I need to be reminded of these things. Can someone turn up the heating on my blanket? It appears to be getting chilly in this room. Right.
Oh, they're doing much better now. They're actually grouping up a bit more. The fights are going a bit more even. Poison's kind of entered this fight on his own, and Poison has created himself in trying to take this fight on his own. It's Soldier versus Scout, but there's 2 Scouts over on the enemy Virtus.Bro, and we all know how this goes. It's damn easy, well, equally, can one Scout really take on the world like this? Dika got a nice meat shot to say this, and he's given himself some confidence. They're not fighting Dika, though. They want the Buttnose kill. Buttnose is trying to dance around and not give up. And he will pop off his Uber. He had to pop that off or he would have died there. And they're trying to finish off this Scout, but it's taking such a long time to deal with him. DQZ laughs his way back to midpoint as his team rejoin him, and he's still holding on to that 100% Uber charge. Oh no, they dropped their Soldier though. And now they've just got this poor single one-man Uber. Well, they've got 2-man now. He does, his Pocket Soldier will rejoin the fight, but they just kite him out. They've been countered by the counter, and now they're re-chasing DQZ. He will go down. Raygo's crawling all over them. Kuna's trying to get the kill onto Buttnose, but Buttnose has proven he cannot die. Or can he? There's another Soldier coming in. My god, are they just going to keep entering people one after the other? They're still going on this. Buttnose is so low. A Scout's on top of him. No, he isn't anymore. That means he will get him back. And the Soldiers are still going. They've taken out Buttnose. He survived for so long.
Rip Buttnose, that was the most epic battle of survivability I've seen from any couple of medics. Buttnose just proving his worth time and time again right there in that exchange. I managed to get an Uber off. Wasn't enough to get a second Uber. That was unfortunate, but there you go.
Oh my god, and they're still entering this fight as well. They guess they want to show just as much unpredictability to Virtus.Bro. They're going in. Dika, the man, the myth, the legend, will die. And oh, the air shot from Poison, or onto Poison. It might have been like just a shot onto the ground, but it looked kind of cool. Damn Easy still stuck behind here. They're just doing the old product strat of suiciding in, you know, outside of product though, and they won't capture the second point, so they have to kind of deal with this sort of aggression from Virtus.Bro, who are more than happy to take fights without the rest of their team or their full team there. They do lose one behind from Damn Easy, and that will be enough to actually deter Virtus.Bro from pushing.
I was about to say that Ruben has forced this Uber. I'm not sure they did. But the Uber has come out of DQZ, and it's enough to push them.
The grenades are bouncing on top of him. He's so low. Oh god, that's scary. Okay, they will actually push them out at this point. Brago just kind of stuck around for too long. I don't know why there. Damn Easy is humoring the idea of maybe making a jump here. He's crawling away. Oh, awkward exchange there, slashing Damn Easy, and Damn Easy will actually lose that despite shooting first. That's embarrassing.
Han Solo managed to get away with it. I don't think Damn Easy was quite of the capability. So Solo,
we can edit it in post.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, absolutely. Let's spend a few $1 billion on editing that to make it look beautiful.
The 1999 re-release of Boomers versus Virtus.Bro. special edition.
Disney already owns the rights to it right now.
Alright, it's another mid, it's another Uber, and it's another fluff here from Boomers, and the only one that's managed to... Oh god, why did they stick around for that? What did they think was going to happen? I think they were so shameful of their Uber there, they just thought, like, eat me please, Virtus.Bro cookie.
So we return to the cookie thing. The cookie metaphor lives.
But the cookie eats people. We've lost all sorts of resemblance of sense in this game.
It's the true cookie monster. Cookie Monster eats you, and the mid is flipping back beautifully.
Yeah, they've killed the server.
Excellent.
This game's over. Okay.
I think that's fairly safe to say this game has been over since Boomers lost that first point. It's been very much on the side of Virtus, and they've been loving this experience. I don't think anything new is going to be experienced in the next map. Maybe the next map will fall heavily into the arms of Boomers, and they'll show us what it takes to be a man and or woman and or anything in 2020.
I mean, they got around. That was nice.
They did get around. They definitely got it inside them. That they're not. So going back to, if we can for a moment, the actual tables. Are we calling that map? Is that map over?
Yeah, that map's definitely over. That map is going to count.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the map to end all maps. I think that's my experience of sixes right there in one sort of full sweep. Before we go to the tables, we should probably have a look at the logs, though.
Yeah, that'd be a good call. So, through magical log combined technology by a certain wonderful producer man, we've actually got the logs combined, and we don't have to kind of do math here and count things up. And
wow,
yeah, it's a wonderful world we're living in here in TF2. But behold, I'm sure you can find it. Behold, the 1.5 log. Anything jumping out at you, Agro? Any favourite numbers you got up going on there?
I'm looking at it. I'm trying to think. Kuna's really kicking himself for not quite making it a magic 10k on his old damage there. That was fairly hefty 9.6 thousand damage. In fact, all of the damage falls on the side of Virtus. They were definitely enjoying themselves and having fun out there and taking names. Yeah,
I think poor Kuna couldn't get his damage just because the soldiers were doing so much damage. They were killing, they were maiming, they were doing the deeps as well as finishing off. They were really putting the team on their back, whilst over on Damn Easy and Poison, yeah, there's a lot of high kills in this game because there was not really too much stalemates, and there was a lot of like unnecessary, or I say unnecessary, just more like unexpected fights happening at all times. It felt more like there was two games going on the same map, and both teams were just opted to play 3v3 against each other.
Yeah, I don't think neither Med really had a bad showing. There's definitely...
I wouldn't say that. No, lad. I'm going to rear your eyes. I'm going to flick your pupils back into place, because DQZ has 7 deaths. Buttnose has 17 deaths. 17 deaths.
Nobody got a drop though, and I think that's the most important thing. Nobody got the humiliation of having all the way to Uber and then not utilizing it. That counts for something, surely.
I mean, you're right. There's no like embarrassing drops or anything like that. And usually, when it comes down to a medic dying this much, it's not going to be your own medic. There's not many times that your medic is going to kind of jump himself out of position, at least at this level. It usually is the sign of a team where they need to go back to the drawing board and just check as an entire team coordination, because it's a team effort keeping that medic alive, and you need every single part kind of working autonomously.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, it just was not. And even with a Merc, it should be fine, unless maybe Kaya was calling the shots, and with their main caller missing, maybe. But I feel like it's more than likely that Brago is calling the shots for this team.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether, I'm looking at the stats. Deco I want to call out as being like an amazing player that we saw sort of do the whole one-man army, the commando piece. I'm trying to see on the logs where that's reflected. I don't think it actually is. I don't think it's captured anywhere.
No, there's no stat for manliness, I'm afraid. But he did take some really manly fights. There's times where he was dead to rights, but he survived a bit longer than usual. He would die, but they would buy a lot of space for his team. And, you know, if I could give a little log stat myself, I'm going to give you a gold star. Poof, put that on there. Turbo S, TS on the logs things. Turbo star.
Turbo star. That sounds like something from Sonic Racing, but... yeah, so the logs no more revealing the actual game itself. Looking forward to the next map, though.
Now, I'd imagine we're on the same server, you know, just restarting things, I assume. Alright, cool. So, Agro, you've got a bit of a preview there. So, have you been wowed by the stars of tomorrow, or today, or yesterday? The Virtus.Bro team, are you impressed? Are they think they're going to take this product map? Because keep in mind, this product map is quite the wild card of a map.
Yeah, I mean, so the one thing that the one major difference, I'd say, watching Div 1 for the first time or been watching it for the entire season versus what you expect to see out of the talent in the higher level, the one sort of stand-alone kind of advantage that the higher players have is the ability to, as you say, sort of coagulate together to bloop or gloop or blob. Blob.
A trademark.
Okay. Yeah.
Copyright.
Oh, apologies. I have to pay you money every time I say it now. But the one true advantage is the ability to blob, to actually just stick together as a group and be an offensive force. And I think that comes from, as you say, the having a single caller, having team play, having this very, very serious capability of playing and fighting together. And I don't think that's what we're going to be seeing from, or have been seeing so far from Boomers. Maybe it's going to be changed. Maybe it's going to be different on this next map.
Boys and girls, we're going straight into it. It's Criticast, it's ETF2L Season 35, Week 5, powered by Copenhagen Games, it's Product, it's Virtus.Bro, and it's Boomers. What's happening, Agro?
A massive exchange in mid here. Everybody is going full on into it. It's the DM coming out on both sides. Both teams really want to be throwing their guts into mid. Slesh being the final player from Boomers, though, to be an offensive force. Everyone else going down. It is Virtus, who are seemingly the unstoppable force, meeting a hard place right now. They are in position and holding firm. They've got their points, they've got their time on the clock, and it is their match to lose right now. Speaking of losing matches, here comes the Boomers. They've got 100% Uber. Are they going to get used to it immediately? Don't know, but Cooling gets in there, gates down, butt nose. That is, yep, that is a unfortunate transition.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
I just realised they've got the red and blue the wrong way around.
They've switched around, lad. Yeah, they're trying to keep you guessing. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, do Boomers have 100% super advantage? Yeah, they've swapped a red team this time. Maybe they just reckon a more aggressive colour will be the one that will kind of give them the advantage here, and it might be actually. They've managed to win the mid, and they've backed out a little bit successfully. I guess, sort of, possibly. We've got a pause here during the time to kind of have everybody do a coordinated facepalm as we kind of set the details right for both of these teams. But yeah, they've got an Uber charge. Oh, right. Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it seems like there's definitely a technical issue that needs to be resolved. Nonetheless, as you say, my apologies for calling that completely the wrong way round as we launched into that new map. And you could tell as soon as I called Buttnose being dead that I got it completely wrong. So yeah, apologies again. DQZ seems to be in a really strong position right now. He's got 100% Uber and wondering where he is on the map right now.
Yep, just playing. This is typical product. You get the Uber advantage. You may want to have like one person poking aggressive, kind of see if you can get some free damage in, but they're going to want to hold this point from an arm's length here, kind of bait them into it. Because usually what happens in these product maps when you have such a huge advantage, you see a lot of suicides come in. Like they have no intention of trying to cap the point or do anything along those lines. They want to just throw as many bodies at the medic as possible, hoping to force his Uber or get him down. And they've actually gone against the grain here over on the Boomers side. They've decided to bring Buttnose out of that for that respawn, the safety of their half of the map, and get everybody with a buff and just push collectively and see if they can force him out this way and kite it out. But that's hard to do. on Product, there's not many places for you to run and hide.
Yeah, I mean, it does show some sense of coordination. The fact that they're actively changing up their tactics as the match is going on, which is good to see. And again, it's the mindset of a collection of people who have been here and done this and seen this all before. The fact that they know the next, if Plan A is not working, let's go to Plan B and see what we can make from it.
But I am feeling hopeful for the Boomers, however, on this map. We were talking about their issue was maybe a little lack of coordination as a team, or kind of forcing them to go together as a team in some of these scenarios. And Product kind of leans yourself for that, because what is else for you to do? If you're a soldier, there's only like so much map you can like go and abandon your team at or leave them alone. It's almost like you're always going to be within eyeshot at least, or something, of your fellow teammates, and it's hard to kind of break away from a blob, or at least break away from the team. And I saw that success a little bit on their mid, but who knows, maybe it's just a bit of cocky attitude from Virtus.Bro. They might kind of reset things or get things accustomed here, but it leads me to believe that this is, if the close map is going to happen, it's definitely going to be this map.
I'm kind of hoping that maybe there's going to be an interesting twist. I mean, look, if there's ever an opportunity to utilize something like crits rather than Uber, or for someone to go spy or sniper, I mean, sniper, this map lends itself 100% to sniper. If you have a really strong sniper in position, there's nothing that you can't do. Maybe this is an opportunity either for Boomer or for Virtus to throw that little swerve ball in there and see if they can do something with it. I've seen Boomers change up their strat. Let's see if we see more from this than just a strat change. I'm ever hopeful that there's going to be a transition, a change in tactics. At any stage to make a sixes game more exciting.
I don't think we'll see any snipers or anything like that. I don't think either of these teams... Well, you see them on sniper from here and there, but they're mainly a class to do a specific role rather than like bringing out the sniper with all the sniper star power. They do have, snipers that are able to counter snipe, so if one of them does pull that card, I don't think it's going to be pulled for long. But I think it's more going to be the Demoman show between Brago and Kuhn here, and who can kind of get their foothold and control on the map more. And usually these Prem Demoman that have played this map for a long time, they kind of always have to have, like, I don't think you can't play Prem and not have a good foothold as a Demoman on this map and like not learn how to do that. So I feel like this is going to be Brago's map to play with a lot more compared to Reckoner. Because keep in mind as well, I'm not even sure if maybe all those players played Reckoner around when they were playing, as some of these players are a little bit old, like Bevan or Brago. Like, unless we check the history books, I'm not sure if the crisscrossing of at least that version of the map was even around then.
Oh my goodness me! I hope you're not asking me. There's too much about this game that I don't know, but I've been around too long to know when the old school days were. But speaking of being around too long, these teams have been around long enough to see the pause unhappen, and they are back in to it. DQZ pops his Uber, possibly to save his own life.
Yeah. They've actually. They've sent out all these players to kind of suicide a DQZ, and mission accomplished. They got the suicide. Oh my god, mission failed. They've lost Buttnose. Oh no.
It's all gone on its head again. Virtus, an unstoppable force. They are in an incredible position right now.
So greedy, because they brought Buttnose out to get everyone buffs, I suppose, but they didn't leave one man behind to kind of keep building the Uber during that, so I was like, well, that's great, but he's not going to have a big enough Uber advantage because nobody's building with him, and even worse, he died!
Alright, we've mentioned it before. Here comes the suicide wave of everybody pushing in against UZ, trying to get in to go down and trying to stay alive at the same time. They've managed to do the dying thing. They're absolutely pro at that aspect of it. Not so good at taking down the medic. That was kind of disgusting.
Okay, I really want to know what on earth is going for the brains of Boomers right now. So it looks like they wanted to make the push out because they know DQZ didn't have his Uber, but they kind of went in almost like a soft suicide, like they were jumping in, but they weren't, I don't know, like try and aim to sustain themselves, and that's what you want to do, because if you think you're going to beat this team without an Uber, you need to sustain yourself and at least just take trades, but they were kind of just throwing themselves in. They're going to throw themselves in again and have to do another suicide wave. DQZ pops off his Uber with like a sliver of HP, and they're going to send someone back. They do have this time a scout building Uber back at base, so they're going to have this Uber charge advantage, and Buttnose is in the spawn, ladies and gentlemen. He ain't going to die right now. So let's see if they've learned their lesson. They're going in with Buttnose now. He's brought down to like a kind of a scary amount of HP himself, but will kind of walk in, and the soldiers aren't dedicating themselves so far. They're kind of just bouncing around, seeing if they can pick off. They get 2 easy picks before an Uber even exchanges out 3 picks as well. This is a car crash of a push out so far, as Brago's been left pissing in the wind on his own as a scout lays on top of it. They kind of put it all into the Deka basket, and he does get the med pick, but they're just going to defend this midpoint out. They do have a faster respawn, as the DM prowess of Virtus.Bro are going to win it out, and yep, they just threw so many bodies just trying to elongate out the timer there, and it's a real shame from Boomers as they just bled too many players before the Uber.
Yeah, absolutely. That was pretty vicious play by Virtus there. They were not taking prisoners for that round. They knew what they had to do, and they did it. They executed full on. I even saw, I got my wish, I saw a sniper for a short little while, Py-bun taking the role as sniper, but I don't think that even lasted long enough here to see the sniper dot on any player.
Yeah, the sort of progression back these teams, oh no, it's a shame. If Bevan kept himself alive there, they definitely would have won out that fight and managed to sustain out this mid. And again, the mid fights look good for Boomers. So I just want to see how they can just transition these sort of plays back after that. They will cap off the point, and that will delay their respawners ever so slightly, but they built an Uber just a bit more efficiently compared to DQZ. I don't think he went down during that, but I think he just didn't have anybody to heal. So he's a little bit behind on his Uber, and they're just delaying for things until they get that back up. Now, the sort of play here is they want to kind of capture the point and bait them off of their high ground. They don't want it to defend from arm's reach. Oh, Brago got dropped during all that. That's disastrous for Boomers now, and now it's just one slowly little scout to deal with the big scary cookie of Virtus.Bro, and they just kind of stare at them in the eye. I think they might even delay capturing this off to bring their boy Slesh back to the world of the living just a bit quicker, and there you go. With him back now, they're going to see if they can weasel their way back off this point. Very nice from Deka there to spot the weakness in cooling and trying to get some cheeky little heals there, and again, it's very reminiscent of all these mid-fights they're playing, but they didn't count for all the sort of behind play, the sort of backline being ravaged by Lanza and Slesh, and it's just picked apart from them from the inside over on this Boomer squad.
I think you nailed it there. That's a very, very effective play. Apologies for a few moments of silence from me. Had a bit of an issue with the old computer uni, but I'm back now full force, and I'm witnessing with my own eyes these Boomers not wanting to take it sit down, wanting to push in hard. Poison getting a few rockets off, not finding a single target. Dash has taken down the one-man army of Deka. A beautiful, beautiful Uber indeed. Virtus are in very much in the driving seat for this particular round right now. They find themselves pushing hard and deep against this Boomer team that doesn't know what on earth has happened to them. They are left stranded, flying, dangling in the wind like a cookie flag.
God, the communication, it just seems to be like crying out for somebody to know when to call people to back out or to stay in, or, you know, just keep a note on what's happening on these flanks and what sort of problems they need to deal with quickly on Boomers, as they just got picked apart there. And there was a very nice Uber as well coming out from DQZ, and missed to kind of just block the point with that single Uber, while Buttnose was multiing his ass off trying to keep his teammates alive during it.
Yeah, it's one thing to be able to throw all of your team in to try and get some sort of a pop out of this medic, but when they're all dying when they're going in and being left without anyone to really push any kind of resistance at all, as you say, no coordination, no ability to call the shots, to move together as one gloopy little team, they are being destroyed right now.
Oh god, everyone's brought down so low, and the scouts have been taken out. Yeah, they still want to keep pushing with this. They feel like they have to do it, as they've just gone that close in now, and they've popped off the Uber from both of these teams. But what's it accomplished? You forced out the enemy team, and you're down 2 players from the start of this anyway. You just have to basically accept that you've backed out. But who knows? Maybe this is the sort of long transition play now. They're going to get those respawns a bit quicker, and every pick is just worth a little bit more. They get the Demo Man down. That's a very nice pick coming out from Brago there, but every one pick, it feels like 2 picks being taken from the rest of Boomers, and yeah, they're going to still win this out with the man advantage. Thank you for the respawn advantage product, but it makes me wonder if they've wasted too much time during all that.
I mean, they had to do something. I guess the fact that they've actually managed to get the clock kicking down on their side is a good thing, and the fact they didn't lose butt-nose doing it was another good thing. But now Virtus back in full effect. There's a heavy. But we don't see that too often with 6s. Certainly pushing out onto all the way to the actual point itself. Decker, the one-man army is no more though. Goes down to Lanza. Lanza's had enough of Decker right now. That's it.
Yeah, it's. I guess they were trying to bring it out and. When they knew they had the Uber advantage and they could get some stability in this sort of game here. But all they did was just, it seems like the worst sort of team to fight up against. You can't really keep track or keep control of the map enough to let the heavy sort of do his work. Everything is so chaotic and all over the place. I feel like the heavy can't have a good foothold to have his sort of like tractor beam and hit people with it.
Yep. It's another exchange going on. They've actually decided to make something of this mid themselves, but Uber going out on the side of DQZ, on the side of Virtus. That is enough to ensure that they get 3 points on the checkerboard of success. Have they used the wrong config again, or is this?
No. It's first to 3 points. So they.
Okay, my apologies again. So, looks like they are pushing in hard now. The mid has been reset, and it's time to go at it again. Was there a swap, though?
He's somewhere, but I can't see him. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Wiethoofd is right. Ginza Dash is actually subbed in for Calling, which they might feel the sting of. Calling was doing a lot of work, but this mid around they actually keep themselves alive, and they are sustaining these mid a bit better. I did call too early, however. Brago just kind of sneaks in and just snaps out the medic during all of that infighting, and with this now, it should give a bit of confidence to the rest of Boomers to make the push out. But where's the medic during all of this? Is Buttnose dead?
Buttnose is most definitely dead. In fact, yep, there was a lot of med-related deaths taking place on that thing. There's 1 or 2 nice little kills in there as well. I'm not sure it picked up on the feed there, but yeah, this is a very strong attack. Brago getting a lot of damage put down there. Poison is sneaking behind a rock. Whether or not he's going to be able to push out on his own and be effective, don't know. But he's got a med healing his ass. So let's see if they are able to push in hard. A couple of shots onto Sleech. Sleech definitely trying to get this Uber pop that isn't there. Maybe just take down the medic.
Oh my, Kuna, what a bomb! Holy Jesus, that was a lot of needed space and damage there, but when things quieten down, Dika will be the last one alive, but they got a lot of 3 kills at the start there. It seemed like maybe a bit of uncoordination showing for Virtus.Bro, but it might be just from the fact that they have to kind of quickly swap out a Merc halfway through the match.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to have affected them that much, though. They've definitely not lost the strength and position that they had. If anything else, it's like they've got a fresh face into it. They've got a new player that's just as willing and capable and desiring of death and mayhem.
Oh no, it seems like the rest of Boomers, they some were choosing to force themselves on the medic, and some were choosing to take these defensive fights instead, and it was just looked a bit fragmented in what they were trying to pull off there for Boomers. And I feel like I'm bullying them at this point. Like, I'm really picking on all their kills, and wow, Slash will get the pick onto Buttnose. That's really heart-wrenching, but it's just... I feel like I'm bullying them, and I'm just like saying, stop doing this, stop doing that, but it just... I guess I just didn't expect these sorts of characteristic plays to come out. It just comes out a bit deathmatchy for my liking.
I mean, this is week 5. There's definitely more matches to come out of this. Maybe later when they watch this back on YouTube. By the way, subscribe to YouTube. Maybe later when they watch this back, they will think, that's what we were doing wrong. I couldn't see it in the heat of the play, and now we know what to change for next map. Next competition. Buttnose again isolated. Buttnose, my goodness me! How do you even die? Just stepping 4 feet out of spawn. Oh, this feels like pain itself.
Oh my god, nowhere safe. What do you do when even your spawn isn't safe, Agro?
You stay in spawn, that's what. Everybody goes spy. Right.
I mean, it's on the bright side, they got DQZ down, and they don't have any heals on the side of Virtus.Bro during all that, so they kind of go a bit balls to the wall, hoping that they can just throw a 200 really quickly, and it works. They get Buttnose this time. It was the 3rd time the charm, but they got him.
Yep, Buttnose I think is burying his head in his hands and crying in spawn right now. Like, he can't stay alive, the poor chap.
Our control point.
I was about to say, Virtus.Bro, you've won that fight. You can take the point now. It's your take.
I don't know, maybe they were like giving a point to Buttnose. Sorry, to Buttnose, Team Buttnose, to these Boomers. Maybe taking mercy on their soul.
Maybe waiting for the respawns as well. That's a very silly thing. There's that, damn easy gets picked off on the flank here, and it seems like this is the start of most of the worries for Boomers. Every time this Slash is just doing so much damage on this flank. He's doing so much damage to the scouts as well. He's going to get taken out eventually, but it buys him enough room to come back into this fight. Brago's caught out in no man's land, and they did force the Uber out, and
yeah, I was going to say, Brago doing the work, forcing the Uber. That was definitely one cool thing that came from his life and/or death.
But they've got the point now, and it's really hard to push this like this without your demo man. So they've bought more time, and 24 seconds is all they need. They could definitely do this.
I mean, maybe. That's about as hopeful as I can get out of that.
Oh, it's getting a bit greedy on Virtus.Bro there. They threw in a lot of bodies, and I was thinking, and each player just keeps thinking like, maybe I'm the one that can get them while they're... Oh, very nice snipe out, Sticky, surgical coming out from the German, as he will get that pick onto the enemy demo man, and they've got the Uber charge, and they've got a demo man advantage. This is the foothold that you expect, and you can definitely hold this for a middle, or at least for a minute, I should say.
They can hold it, but if you even lose, if you even get any time lost on this point, that's it, game over. So they have got to hold it with ferociousness, with absolute eagerness in their hearts.
Oh, there's one taken down. DQZ will pop his Uber off in kind as well. Brago's caught a little bit off guard. He will manage to get back to his team, and now they just need to start focusing on the players. Focus fire for both of these teams now is damn easy. And did they... Hello? Did they kill the server? They killed the server?
Well,
I guess that's... I guess that's what happens when the match finishes, you know? The heart stops working.
I can only apologise to anybody watching this that maybe they didn't get... I'm feeling a little bit like blue balls at this time. I really wanted to see this. The energy that comes at the final last 30 seconds of a game is really the thing that we're all building up to. So not being able to see it happen is frustrating. It is as frustrating for us as it is for you. Again, I apologise entirely. They will be reprimanded.
Well... I mean, spoiler alert, I'm going to say that, they won this, the Virtus.Bro team. If it probably would have lasted a little bit longer if another round was onto the board for Boomers, and it's first to 3. So, yeah, it's effectively said that Virtus.Bro have won this. But we can get this even scored more if we look at the logs.
Possibly, indeed. Well, we're waiting for logs to come up. It's worth... I've mentioned this a couple of times, not actually had a chance to look at it, the tables. the tables really actually had Virtus.Bro in a very strong position leading into this. I think they were definitely the favourites, only Bionicle in any kind of a chance to affect them. So Boomers, well, a long way back, but not necessarily. I mean, they stood a chance. Looking at the stats alone, they stood a chance. And speaking of stats, I think we actually have the logs now.
But yeah, as you were on about for the tables, it's curtains for Boomers. I don't think they're going to be able to kind of claw their way back into sort of a playoff spot after this sort of loss as well. Virtus.Bro and Joseph Zone, the compound, I think it's all a fight for second place at this point, and Virtus.Bro should feel good about this, especially if we maybe let me look at the Boomers as well and see who they've managed to pull victories off or whatever. And yeah, they took a couple of points off the compound as well, so that probably gives the advantage to Virtus.Bro over the compound in that respect. But who knows? It's still just week 5, it's still week 6, still week 7 to see what sort of shenanigans happened. But it's definitely a fight for second places. I think Bionicle is just going to be so far ahead compared to the rest of the people on that thing. But
I have to call it for this stream. Of course, we need to promote the crap out of. Well, we don't need to. I think you guys already know this. Copenhagen Games. It is coming up in April. If you haven't got your ticket already, you have desperately needing to do that right now. There's opportunities to rent PCs. There's opportunities to sleep on floors. Please do get yourself sorted out with everything you need. Just go along to lan.teamfortress2.com. Get all the details you need from there. While we're on the task of talking about awesome, please do grab the merch. Is there a thing on stream at the moment? I can't see it. But yeah, you should definitely be getting all of the things. There's a Discord, a Patreon, and a merch. We've actually got a new link as well. I think that everything still goes to the new merch site, so please do go along to that. Before I let you go, Mr. Tabs, Mr. TurboTabs.
Please, sir, I miss my family.
You can't leave yet! I need from you shout out or some words to people that you care about.
Big shout out to both of these teams. Very entertaining match. I know a lot of those Boomers people have we've shared many a drink together. So again, sorry for the harsh words. Maybe I'm just I'm sorry, boys. I didn't mean to be so mad.
Right. Anyone you care about enough to say hello beyond this?
Hi, Ida.
Okay, that's enough. All right, from my part, I want to do a quick shout out to Wiethoofd, of course, is the human that makes everything work in competitive Team Fortress 2. The hidden secret power that every team really needs to have on their side. And while I've got the mic, another quick shout out to all of our admins and people who look after the chat and do an incredible job of ensuring that none of the horrid makes it through to the real times. Thank you very much, guys and girls. We do appreciate the effort that you put in. Other than that, hi, Mum. I don't know if she's watching, but I'm assuming she is. And also, hi, Dad, as well, because they'll probably both be watching at the same time.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hi, Agro's mum. How's it going?
Or you leave off my mother. Right.
Hey, my mum watches these as well. Okay, yeah. Close it out.
Let us say good night, good evening, and good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching this in your time. I hope you have a wonderful day lined up. This has been Agro. That has been TurboTabs. Behind the camera has been Wiethoofd. Please take care and enjoy socks. They are the best invention mankind has ever made.
Hi, old beaver! Away!